Hello, I'm Craig Pruitt. I'm a candidate for the MFA in painting at the Savannah College of Art and Design. The work reflects my personal approach that mixes storytelling, connecting my past to the present and looking to the future. It's more than mark making. It's about creating paintings that function as maps of sensation, cognition, experience, exploring expressive possibilities of colors, and share parts of my life beyond the canvas. The exhibit involves paintings that document my journey. I have named it Remembrances. And professors, welcome. With your permission, I would like to read my artist statement. Resurrection of an icon. My paintings are full of metaphors, subtle and conceptual reflections, conflicts, and tensions. I spent summers working on family farms, including a dairy, where I baled and hauled hay for winter feed, and fed calves while the milking was going on. I chopped cotton, pulled weeds, rode horses, helped with the beef cattle, and learned to drive an old pickup truck. I drove the truck down gravel roads to the general store owned by my uncle. I saw my first Corvette on one of these warm summer days. It was like a well-mannered dream. My work focuses on resurrection, not the resurrection of the soul, but the rebirth of an icon, my 1956 Corvette. Nourished and sustained by memories, this work includes three things of which I am passionate: drawing, painting, and motor vehicles. Combined with narratives of childhood memories, the multifaceted project includes holding, cleaning, procuring, and assembling components with wrenches and screwdrivers, documented in paint and brush, disassembling an old Corvette down to its bare chassis and rebuilding the entire car with the new components, fresh paint, and a new interior is extremely satisfying and obsessive. Paintings and drawings honor this rare example of automotive history, awaiting rebirth, a reminder of the past and a prediction of the future. There is a certain beauty in the deteriorated parts. They are worthy of being remembered. Researching old advertisements and archives created a longing to touch it, to sit in it, and experience the exciting sensation of a hushed, throaty voice punctuated by a staccato rhythm of the engine. My visual documentation attempts to recapture the essence of this transportation masterpiece, originally conceived in the fertile GM Design Studios. The goal is rebirth of an uncommonly attractive automobile with the balanced proportions, racy silhouette of a sexy body, and elegant, dainty appeal of a sweetly sprung, near-perfect shape. I am the facilitator of this iconic resurrection. In formal aspects, my first quarter at SCAD in the fall of 2020. I painted things related to my job and to the pandemic. So I felt like when games were fun, KC Pruitt 2020, 24 by 48 inches, acrylic on canvas. It reflects the coaches, managers, and the team huddled in a moment before the game. The opposing pitcher was on the mound. His number, 19, foretelling of things to come. And morning tutorials, socially distanced. KC Pruitt 2020, 48 by 60 inches. Acrylic on canvas, 1 through 10, KC Pruitt 2021, 40 by 80 inches, acrylic on canvas. Note the red reflection line below the car. I asked a friend to pose so I could get the distinct female shape. Called 56, and I painted it in the spring of 2021. It's 48 by 60 inches. It was done with felt markers and graphite on canvas. Next painting is Engine Bay. 60 by 48 inches, acrylic on canvas. The painting was completed with palette knives. No brushes were used. It's 48 by 48 inches, and it's acrylic on canvas. And I call it Heads Up. This painting was also completed in 2021. I call it Taillight Tuesday. It just happened to finish the painting on a Tuesday. And it's called Someday. It depicts me as a child in a dream sequence, holding a model car just like the one I'm looking at. The painting is 48 by 48 inches. This painting is called Someday Too. It depicts me as a young adult looking at the same car. The faded paint tells a tale that it's getting older and worn. This one too is 48 by 48 inches acrylic on canvas, and it was completed in 2021. This painting is realizing the dream. It depicts me as an adult, an older adult. The painting is reflecting the parts and the daunting task of restoring the vehicle that lays ahead. It is 48 by 60 inches. It was completed in 2021 as part of the triptych. Acrylic on canvas. This is the first of 3 parts paintings that I have completed. It's multimedia on canvas, and it's 48 by 60 inches. This is shiny parts, and it was completed in 2021. This painting, second in that series of parts, it's also 48 by 60 acrylic on canvas, and well, multimedia on canvas. It too has been treated with oxidizing agents. And this is the third painting in the parts series, 48 by 60 inches, acrylic on canvas. These are parts that I actually measured and painted them life-size as they would appear if you were holding it in your hand. The steering wheel, the dash pad, the rear view mirror, some of the bumperettes, shifting mechanism, and headlight buckets. So this one, too, would be one that I would like to exhibit along with the other 2. This one I call More Parts, and it's 48 by 60, and it's all acrylic on canvas. This narrative painting I call Black November, the Wolf Tree. I would like to discuss it in more detail, so I'm going to come back to it after I've introduced all of the rest of the paintings. It was a gallery opening right after the lockdown, and everybody was wearing masks, and so there wasn't a huge crowd there, and it was a perfect setting for my painting. So, and this is 20 by 20 inches, and it's acrylic paint on canvas. This is another narrative painting. It depicts my uncle's general store, my cousin Judy. There's a Corvette. The store set on a gravel road in a curve, and Judy is looking off to one direction, and the dog is looking across the gravel road to the cemetery where many of my ancestors are buried. I call this one Judy and Corvette. It's 48 by 60, oil on canvas, and the dog, Corvette's dog, came from the burial at R9, where they were burying his uncle, and all of the people were gathered around, and this beautiful hound was right in the center of the painting. This is another narrative painting. It's 60 by 48 inches. It's looking down Broughton Street in Savannah. My personal history has come full circle in this painting. The ominous clouds would depict a stormy afternoon. The seagulls are trying to get away from it. There are images in the clouds that I took from photographs of some of my ancestors, 60 by 48, and it's acrylic on canvas. I call this one barn find. Barn find left and barn find right. Do a quick rendering of the car and try to capture the essence of an old automobile. I promised to come back and talk about this one. Black November, the wolf tree. In the center, we also have Corbett's dog. I wanted to have some dramatic light, so having it lit from the bottom up gives kind of an eerie feel to it. The sweeping curve of the road as it goes up and around and down the hill and out of sight is reminiscent of Jericho's waves in Raft of the Medusa. I researched riots like the Democratic National Convention of 1968 in Chicago for some of the posturing of a crowd that's defiant and mad, and then I also looked at Little Rock in 1957 in the integration crisis that occurred there, and some of the people I found in photographs were just standing around watching and not necessarily participating, but they weren't trying to stop anything either. The story goes, it was taken from the TV series Route 66. It was the very first episode that aired in 1960. You had Buzz and Todd, the protagonists. In this case, they were in the wrong place at the wrong time and they were about to be lynched. There is a body buried under the tree, and it had to do with the tyrant of the town. It was a sawmill town, thus you have a tree. Normally a tree like that is cut down because it smothers out smaller trees. Tyrant of the town. It was a sawmill town, thus you have a tree. Normally a tree like that is cut down because it smothers out smaller trees. This painting places you up on a little hill or a knoll looking down at the goings on.